Hi, Scream, Walking by Myself, choke word 7-inch. Let's talk about it. Scream released the 7-inch single Walking by Myself in choke word in 1986 on the record label Jungle Hop International. I couldn't find much information on this label. I went on Discogs and it looks like they were based in the UK according to the address on the back of this record. And they released a bunch of compilations in different punk bands that, to be honest, wasn't really familiar with. And, probably someone like an Al Quint would probably know a lot of these bands. They did release the 1988 No More Censorship Scream album in France, which was released on Ross in the US and the UK. And that was their first recording with a drummer who wasn't Kent Stax, the heartbeat of Scream for the majority of their existence. They also released a Poison Idea record and Big Chief. Like a lot of underground and independent music, it's often hard to pinpoint exact release dates of records. Maybe because, most small labels and artists don't follow the traditional major label, records released on Tuesdays and, now Fridays. So I was having trouble trying to figure out when this record actually came out in reference to Banging the Drum, since both of these songs appear on that record. And they sound exactly the same. On the 7-inch it says B-side special mix and editing Ian MacKaye. The B-side is choke word. Sounds a little different to me, but I didn't hear that much of a difference, to be honest. So I was looking online for some opinions or just general idea of how this record, how people felt about this record at the time, and I came across this review from Maximum Rock and Roll. Now, I read that fanzine religiously from 1984 to 1990 or so, and I was more of a flip side guy. I feel like. MRR, I think the reviews, they were these short reviews that were just like 2 or 3 sentences and didn't really give you that much information on the record. And this is sort of follows in the same world as that. And it was usually just empty couple of sentences, and I imagine it was generated when, Tim Yohannan would, pop his head in your office and be like, hey, once you're done painting that crash symbol on the back of your jacket, can you review these 7 inches? And the guy would be like, okay, yeah, sure, and listen to him once. And that's what it sounded like what happened here. So let's pick apart that review. And it was written by a fellow named Martin Sprouse, who you probably know if you're familiar with Maximum Rock and Roll. I remember his writing. And he says, the A-side from this veteran DC band is at its best, has strong MC5 influences with the structure, leads, vocals, and riffs. It has a bit of a 70s rock feel, but it's catchy and powerful. The Flip is a folk acoustic song that lacks power but has good lyric impact. Okay, so the first part of this that bothers me is it has a bit of a 70s rock feel, but it's catchy and powerful, but it's like 70s music can't be catchy or powerful. But the worst part here is the last sentence, which is the Flip is a folk acoustic song that lacks power but has good lyric impact. I'm not sure the guy even listened to this record because it's not that at all. There's an acoustic guitar, evidently played by the new second guitarist at the time, Robert Lee Davidson, and that's pretty low in the mix. And but it's far from a folk acoustic song. And the song, starts exactly like a song would start from Inner Ear Studios in 1986, Almost sounds like a Dag Nasty song to me. But then it's, pure scream rock to the end, I made the mistake and went and read a bunch of Martin's reviews. And I have to say I cringed quite a bit, But anyway, as for the lyrical impact of the song, I was curious myself, but of course, these lyric sheets, as I get older, are harder and harder to read because look at how small that is. Even a lot of times I have to take pictures of the song, or like anything, like at work, I'll take a picture of something with my phone and then look at it to zoom in on the words or whatever because I'm old. But yeah, so the only thing I see on this is, it says lyrics by Pete and arrangement Scream Team, music Franz, and then at the top it says title Skeeter. So yeah, but the lyrics were kind of harder and harder to read. So I just actually, hold on 1 second.
Remember this record? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy because, oh yeah, it's got choke word there. Yeah. 930 Basement. That's the original Faith in 930.
Is this the first thing you guys recorded with Robert Lee? Or he did part of our...
Yeah, he did.
This side up?
You do? No, he's banging the drum. Banging the drum. What do you do? You get a split.
How snazzy you would, get it?
Yeah. I was married at the time, and my ex-wife, she was a total fashionista.
He dressed you?
She dressed me, she told me to. And I had like 3 different outfits that she. It was crazy. Whatever.
So it says you came up with the title for choke word?
Yeah. Choke word means like, when you actually want to say something that's sort of caught in your throat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A choke word.
Nice.
Choke. Do you remember recording this?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I was at Zen Terrace, Oka. Yeah. It was a great little session. It's weird because I think I was still in the basement if I remember right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was doing a very crazy time because, always bring up the Bad Brains. The Bad Brains were on hiatus, and I was living with Jovis.
Yeah.
At the Olive Tree House.
Yeah.
And it was just a weird, transitioning of all the different bands that were happening in the VA. Yeah. Like a blooming period.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was even a little different sounding.
Yeah. And even, this is like after Minor Threat had just broken up.
Yeah.
And I think Embrace had started.
Yeah.
And it's weird too, because even Minor Threat, because first, they had 1 guitar, so Brown was playing bass, and then we had 2 guitars, and then they went to 2 guitars. Yeah. And we actually played the last show with them in Baltimore, so it was very spontaneous, and like I said, it was like gloomy. Everything was, everybody, so many different bands. Yeah.
So this is a good memory for era in Scream, was this era.
Yeah, sure. Just before they left in 86, so yeah, it's like 84, I think.
Yeah.
And so Kent was like very, very animated about things.
Yeah.
I think he just got married. I got married first.
Yeah.
With Anna, and then he got married to Andrea. I take it in. Jennifer was born. Yeah. Probably like another 6 months, 7 months later. Jennifer was probably like 1 year old during this good stuff.
Yeah.
And then Harley was dating Pete and Franz's sister.
Oh, all right.
And he was in a band called Tyranny.
Yeah.
And they were a great heavy metal band. Yeah. So they're biting off a lot of great heavy metal. Like, they played the small club, I think it was called Whispers.
Yeah.
And he literally rode a chopper up in the club. He didn't ride it on the stage. He didn't have a ramp. But he rode it in the car. It was like
Full of fucking smoke. Like Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Like I used to drive the motorcycle.
They were pretty like different. Tyrant with a great name for what they're very full on heavy metal. Nice. But then, I was like, because I'm a guitar player, and I had 1 or 2 guitars.
Yeah.
And then Harley was just right there at the right time.
Yeah.
It was a great moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great record, man.
Yeah. I was just talking to Ian from a few years ago, like, who knew 40 years from now was gonna playing music at our age. Yeah. But if you look, I'm totally like kind of wrong. Like that face I make her is like Like, hurry up and take the free at you. Yeah, I got to pee, got it. Yeah, like everybody, like, man, everybody was totally animated. I was still like a little camera shy. Yeah, it does sound. Yeah,
He looks good. Looks young.
yeah. Looking Jim Morrison. Yeah, no, he's looking like sort of Harry Christian in that. Yeah, yeah.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there you have it. A little insight into the record from the man himself, Enoch Thompson, who, by the way, goes by Enoch at this point. So, don't go calling him Skeeter if you run into him. Just, respect the man. The song Walking by Myself, it's a headbanger. It's, catchy. It sounds like no one else but Scream. Pete's voice is in top form, hitting some serious notes at the end of the song. And the band, probably reinvigorated with the addition of Harley, Robert Lee Davidson on guitar. It's just, it sounds like they're going to jump out of the grooves and just pummel you to death, and live around this era, they were great. My band opened for them at TT the Bears at the time. I think I saw them a few times with this 5-piece lineup, and they were always amazing. Yeah, and, the record to me highlights 2 of Scream's best songs on one little record. The progression from, Still Screaming to this side up, and then this stuff and the Banging the Drum record, makes perfect sense. This era of music, too, especially in the underground punk and hardcore scenes, 1986 is, sort of my wheelhouse. My favorite stuff comes from that era, I think that year specifically. And, Scream's contributions here are, 2 amazing songs to throw on that fire. And, they've continued to do that since. So, yeah, if you don't have this 7-inch or the Bangin' the Drum record, do yourself a favor and fix that. Walking by Myself, Choke Word, Scream. That's it.